Ladies and gentlemen, to the organizers, participating researchers, Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. It is absolutely a privilege for me to be participating at this international conference on Malay, Arabic and English Literature 2022, an avenue for researchers to share their findings with a noble aim to give invaluable contribution to our respective fields of discipline. I am Nur Afifah Atirah binti Saperi from the Universiti Malaysia, Sarawak, will be presenting our research with the title of The Translation of Malay Song Lyric in Upin Ipin, the Gibbon Kris film, Language and Cultural Similarity, with me as the main author, Roslan Ali and Mohamad Fairuz Ali as the co-authors. The world today is significantly impacted by media, which has led to the emergence of translation forms, that is, dubbing and subtitling. In this study, subtitling is emphasized in investigating its accuracy in Malaysian animation. Animation itself is a form of cultural preservation, and the Malay culture can be recognized through Malay songs, as the lyrics of a song reflect societal attitudes and beliefs. There are some issues regarding translations of subtitling in films on the Netflix platform. Despite the long history of song translation, there is less scholarly research on the subject, particularly when it comes to songs in films. Studies on the translation of song lyrics in animation have been conducted, and other researchers also carried out studies on translation of dubbing and subtitling in animation. Hence, no study to date has been conducted on investigating the translation of Malay song lyrics into Malaysian animation. Besides, no attention is given to examining translations containing Malay culture from language and cultural similarity aspect in Malaysian animation by Malaysian scholars. This study can give some high impacts to solve practical problems by certain parties comprising translation field, understanding foreign culture, streaming media, animation industry, audiences, and translators. This study aims to investigate language and cultural similarities in English subtitles of a Malay song lyric from the Malaysian animation Upin Ipin, the Gibbon Kris. The formulated objectives of this study are R01 to identify the English subtitles of a Malay song lyric in the Malaysian animation, R02 to analyze language and cultural similarities between the Malay song lyric and English subtitles in the Malaysian animation, R03 to evaluate Malay culture translation based on the English subtitles of the Malay song lyric in the Malaysian animation. A qualitative descriptive research design is employed in this study. This research design is utilized to evaluate cultural elements in order to clarify language and cultural similarities based on the English subtitles of a selected Malay song lyric in the animated film. The research instrument is a selected Malay song lyric in Upin Ipin, the Gibbon Kris film, from the Netflix platform, namely Karisati, along with its English subtitles. The international level animation film has been released in 2019, as the time frame is not more than 5 years to obtain the current knowledge. Below is the text that was extracted from a Malay song lyric, Karisati, which stands as a theme song of the animated film, sung by Fairuz from Brunei Darussalam, which you can see the picture of him from right. The table shows the source language Malay and target language English that are extracted from a Malay song lyric, Karisati, and its English subtitles in Upin Ipin, the Gibbon Kris film, which is outlined accordingly with their own stanza. Every data, words and phrases containing cultural elements that are identified and may not be translated accurately will be underlined before being analyzed in the context of similarity. The finding on data 1 shows the translation is more to literal translation. Durhaka refers to disobedience or treacherous to the country, in other words, towards God, parents, husband, and others. Traitors means the people who violate a duty or responsibility or breach the trustworthiness of someone. The context of the Malay sentence is focused on the disobedience toward the king of a country. The attitude of Durhaka can be traced down from stanza 1 by understanding the implicit meaning of the whole tercets. Western society commonly uses the word traitor to express someone's characterization to betray his nation by engaging in treason, and international audiences would be confused with the word usage. The translation is intimately connected to the source language. Betrayers can be suggested to replace the word traitors. Betrayers means a person who is disloyal to the country or another individual, frequently engaging in irresponsible behavior. The finding on data 2 shows the translation's emphasis on literal translation. Although the translator takes liberty by applying connotative meaning, it may contribute to misinterpretation among audiences. Pahlawan is a gallant and brave fighter, whilst Perkasa refers to a powerful, great and strong person. Westerners use the word champion to give a description of a competitor who has won first place and outclassed all opponents in a sporting event or other competition. Heroes are used to a person of exceptional bravery or talent, praised for their selflessness and noble attributes. The translation is not concurrently related to each other with the source language, in which it is concerned with providing some very suitable meanings. Malaysian audiences may understand the intended meaning of the translation, but international audiences might receive inaccurate ideas or messages in a more particular context. Pahlawan Perkasa, on the other hand, can be replaced with mighty warrior, which means a strong and powerful person with combat training and expertise. The finding on data 3 presents 7 petala bumi and its translation 7 lands. It can be examined on the word chosen lands. Specifically, bumi refers to the planet we live on, and it is the third planet from the sun in the solar system, and also makes reference to the surface of Earth, the land. Lands refers to the substantial portion of the Earth's surface, as well as a region of soil or terrain that is particularly fertile. The meanings between bumi and lands are quite the opposite of the context of the source language. The context of 7 petala bumi phrase, it is related to Islamic beliefs regarding cosmology. It is believed that Allah created 7 earths. The phrase is an indirect indication to the Malay identity as Muslim, that is, incorporating the essence of Islamic life. A specific term should be accentuated to customize with Malay culture through translation. 7 earths is a general term used in the Islamic cosmology field, meanwhile 7 lands can be replaced with the term. The finding on data 4 presents Kebesaran Negara, in which the meaning of its translation gives the nation hope to sing definitely cannot be understood by audiences. This is because the literal translation is applied and the translator takes the liberty by using connotative meanings. Kebesaran Negara can be referred to as a national symbol. The translator is discovered to be out of context. To translate what message the translator intends to convey based on his or her own understanding, for instance, gives the nation hope to sing can be suggested as inspiring people, specifically the nation of a kingdom or country, to have a powerful symbol that represents the identity of motherland, Intraloka, precisely the sacred Kris based on the animated film narrative. The Kris in the real world is simultaneously related to the coat of arms of Malaysia, Jata Negara Malaysia, as 5 of the erstwhile unfederated Malay states are represented by the 5 Krises. National symbol can be suggested to replace the phrase. The finding on data 5 highlights takhta with its translation crown. Takhta refers to a chair for a king who possesses royal power. Meanwhile, the word crown leads to vagueness. Western society uses the word crown to give a description of a round, decorative headpiece worn by monarchs as a symbol of their power, and international audiences may encounter confusion to understand the translation. The meaning does not equivalent or inaccurate, as the word usage is too intimately linked with the source language. Hence, crown is suggested to be substituted with realm. The meaning of realm is similar to the kingdom. Realm means that whenever the king or Raja loses his power, this matter indirectly caused the king to also lose his throne. In the case of the underlying meaning for hilang takhta, hancur negara, the real meaning can be traced down through the narrative in the animated film. Raja Bersiong, the Fang King, had murdered Raja Indraloka by aiming of seizing the throne. Eventually, Raja Indraloka passed away, whilst the barbaric Raja Bersiong took possession of ruling the state and its people for decades. Realm can be acceptable to replace the word crown, which more complies with the meaning of message delivery. In conclusion, translation through subtitling is pivotal not only for preserving the culture but also to expose as well as enhancing the understanding among audiences. It is notable that Malaysian animation, specifically Upin Ipin, the lone Gibbon Kris film, has won audiences' hearts with its unique representation of local values, especially Malay culture through Malay song lyrics on the global stage. The role of translators is important to preserve the meaning intended underlying the songs, with the aim that no misinterpretation and misunderstanding occur among audiences. The words, phrases, and sentences should be correctly and relevantly translated from the source language into the target language. Hence, the study's findings can be a cornerstone for other researchers to delve deeper into the translation of Malay song lyrics in Malaysian animation from a language and cultural similarity perspective. The following are the references that are used in this study. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you for listening.